Welcome to part 2 of recognizing and avoiding scams. In the last part of this video series, we will cover how to protect yourself and your financial information from scams, and what to do if you think you've been scammed or are a victim to fraud. If you haven't already, please watch part 1, which covers how to recognize a scam.
So now you might ask, what are some things you can do to avoid or protect yourself from these scams? Right? Many people fall for them. They're meant to be convincing. So don't be scared. It can seem difficult, but there are ways for you to avoid scams, but with ongoing diligence, caution, and awareness. Our first tip for avoiding scams is to be cautious. Don't give your personal information to anyone you don't know, any unexpected emails, calls, or texts or letters. Check on it first before you give personal information. Don't click on links in emails, in unexpected emails, calls, or text, or call phone numbers that you're not familiar with. You can use a call or text blocking app to block any unwanted calls and texts. You can unsubscribe from unwanted emails or mark them as spam so they don't continue to populate your inbox. Also, don't return missed calls that claim to be from the government. Instead, if you do get one of these calls, go to the organization's website and call the main customer service number to confirm that there's a real problem that involves you. If it seems weird, pause and investigate. Call your family member they mention in the call to check in, or the doctor's office, or the bank the scammer is mentioning. You can always check the information they're providing before you move forward. The next tip is to don't send money to unknown sources. Never send money to a person or organization you don't know. Don't wire money to strangers. Wiring money is like sending cash. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. Never deposit a check from someone you don't know and then wire money back to them. The check could be fake and the bank will hold you responsible. Don't play a foreign lottery. In some cases, it's illegal, and the scammers will likely contact you and insist that you pay taxes, fees, or custom dues to collect your prize. There won't be a prize. The only thing that there will be is fees and taxes that you're going to pay to these scammers. Another thing to think about is not to donate money to charities you're not familiar with. Especially during holiday seasons, you might get some calls about donating money to charities you're not so sure with. So only donate to established charities rather than ones that sprung up overnight. Sometimes scammers will even use real disasters that are happening right now to try and get money. Don't fall for it. If they ask to donate to a charity, look them up and see if it's a legitimate organization. Our last tip for avoiding and protecting yourself against scams is protecting your financial information. And this is a good tip in general, not just for scams. So you'll want to turn on your credit, debit, and bank account activity alerts to see what's happening in your accounts. You can set these up to notify you anytime a purchase or deposit is made to your account to see what's going on. Sometimes the bank will even flag purchases that might look strange based on your usual purchasing behavior, and they'll ask you to confirm before they approve it. Another tip is to cover your hand when you're entering your PIN at a cash register or an ATM. Your PIN number is really important. You don't want someone getting access to that. You also want to make sure you're making good passwords for all your accounts, and don't ever share these with someone else. A good password is hard to guess and not something easy like your birthday. A good password includes numbers, letters, symbols, and don't use the same password for everything. That'll make it easier for someone, if they know your password, to log into all your accounts. Then our last tip is to read your bills and your monthly statements regularly. That way, if there's something strange on any of your accounts, you can flag it and get help immediately. Overall, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Promises of big profits are generally big frauds. So this all sounds terrible and a bit scary, but it happens to a lot of people every day. Again, many people are victim to scams, so there's no shame if it happens to you. They're designed to be creative and to trick you. So let's say you believe that you've been victim to a scam. What should you do? First, you want to contact your bank, credit card company, or the wire transfer company and ask them to help. Tell them you've been a victim to a scam and they'll tell you what to do next. Likely, they'll freeze some of your accounts and investigate. This is also where setting up alerts on your accounts is helpful. If you catch the activity in the act, it's easier to fix it right away before too much damage is done. Next, you want to reset your login information for all your financial accounts, emails, and anything else online that hasn't been involved in the scam. You never know how much information they ended up getting through this scam. Next, if you're a victim of identity theft, which is when a scammer steals your information and is pretending to be you to open accounts, you can go to identitytheft.gov and there's guidance there on what to do next. And you can also report it. Lastly, you'll want to set up alerts with the credit bureaus. So if you're notified if anyone tries to open any accounts with your information. So let's summarize what we've learned today. We talked about the common signs of a scam. We talked about how to protect yourself from potential scams, such as not giving out your personal information, not sending money to anyone you don't know. And we talked about what to do if you've been scammed, which is mainly act fast and ask for help. So if you have any questions on what we learned today, or if you need additional assistance, you can contact a financial coach at the IRC. Thank you so much for joining us today.